Hello grade 4. Today we will learn how to multiply two-digit numbers. What strategies can you use to estimate products? Strategies we will talk about are strategies you're already familiar with. To make an estimate, you can round each factor to the greatest place value, or you can use compatible numbers. Let's remember together some rounding rules. I underline the place value I'm rounding to. Look at the examples on the right. I want to round to the nearest 100, I underlined the 2. I want to round to the nearest 10, so I underlined the 3. I use the digit to its right to help round, so I want to look at the 4 and I want to look at the 8. If the digit on its right is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's less than 5, the underlined digit stays the same and all the digits to its right become zeros. So 2 will stay the same and 4 and 9 will become zeros. But if the digit to its right is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, the underlined digit goes up one more and all the digits to its right become 0. So here 8 is greater than 5, so the 3 will go up one more and 8 will become a 0. So 249 will round to 200, 38 will round to 40. Compatible numbers are friendly numbers. They're easy to compute mentally, like 10 times 10 equals 100, 2 times 50 equals 100, and 25 times 4 equals 100. Let's start with this problem. Sophia makes 28 bracelets a day. There are 31 days in July. About how many bracelets did she make in July? Because of the word about, we have to estimate the product of 28 times 31. First, we start by rounding each factor. 28 rounded to the nearest 10. We look at 8. 8 is greater than 5, so 2 will go up one more and the 8 will become a 0. As for 31, the 1 is less than 5, so the 3 will stay the same and 1 will become a 0. So 28 rounded to the nearest 10 is 30, and 31 rounded to the nearest 10 is 30. Now we multiply 30 times 30. First I look at the basic fact, 3 times 3. It's 9. Then because I have 2 zeros in the factors, I'll have 2 zeros in the product. So it's 900. So in July, Sophia made about 900 bracelets. Let's try another problem. On Tuesday, a store sold 41 shirts for $24 each. About how much money did the store make on that day? So we have to estimate because of the word about, the product of 41 times $24. But this time I will use compatible numbers instead of rounding. When using compatible numbers, think of multiples of 10 and multiples of 5. So for 41 we will use 40, and for 24 we will use 25. I will think of the basic fact 4 times 25, it's 100. Then I will add the 0, because I have a 0 in the factor, I'll have an extra 0 in the product. So 40 times 25 equals 1000. On Tuesday, the store made about $1,000. How can you use regrouping to multiply two-digit numbers? Let's use place value and regrouping to find the product of 15 times 93. First, let's make an estimate. 15 rounds to 20, and 93 rounds to 90. I think of the basic fact 2 times 9 equals 18. Then I add 2 more zeros because I have 2 zeros in the factors, I'll have 2 zeros in the product. So 20 times 90 equals 1800. I start multiplying 15 by 3 ones in the ones place. 3 times 5 equals 15. I regroup 15 as 110 in the tens place and 5 ones in the product. Now I move to multiply the tens place by the ones place. 3 ones times 110. 3 times 1 equals 3. Those are 3 tens. Plus 1 more 10 equals 4 tens. Now we multiply 15 by 9 tens. 9 tens times 5 ones is 45 tens, or 4 hundredths 5 tens. So we record the 5 tens in the product and regroup the 4 hundredths in the tens column above the digit 1. 9 tens times 110 is 90 tens, plus 40 tens gives us a total of 130 tens. We will write it as 1 in the thousands place and 3 in the hundreds place. Now let's add the partial products. 5 plus 0 equals 5. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 3 plus 0 equals 3 and 1 plus 0 equals 1. So the answer is 1395. 15 times 93 equals 1395. Is it close to the estimate 1800? Yes, so the answer is reasonable. How can you use this strategy? Draw a diagram to solve multi-step multiplication problems. Those are the 3 steps to solve word problems. The first one is to read, to understand what we need to find and what information we need to use. Then we plan, we choose a strategy, we draw a diagram or a bar model, we choose an operation. Then we solve, we write an equation to solve the problem. Let's take a look together at this problem. In March, Mr. Lee sold an average of 42 apples each day for 31 days. In February, he sold an average of 53 apples each day for 28 days. How many more apples were sold in February than in March? What do we need to find? We need to find the difference in apple sales in February and in March. Let's underline the important information. We know that in March, he sold 42 apples for 31 days. So it's 42 times 31. In February, he sold 53 apples for 28 days. So it's 53 times 28. To solve this problem, we have to make 2 steps. The first one is to multiply, and the second one is to find the difference. I will explain each multiplication sentence. Let's start with March. March is 42 times 31. I start with the ones. 1 times 2 equals 2. Then 1 times 4 equals 4. There is no regrouping. Now, 3 tens times 2 equals 6 tens. 6 tens means 60. So I record 0 in the ones place and 6 in the tens place. There is always a 0 when you get to this step. Then 3 tens times 4 tens equals 12 tens. I will regroup 12 tens as 1,200. I will add the partial products. 2 plus 0 equals 2. 4 plus 6 equals 10. 0 and I regroup 1. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Then 1 plus 0 equals 1. It's 1302. As for February, it's 53 times 28. I start with the ones. 3 times 8, it's 24. I will regroup it and I will write 4 in the ones place. And I will regroup 2 tens above the 5 in the tens place. Then 8 times 5, it's 40. 40 tens plus 2 more tens is 42. 2 times 3 equals 6. It's 6 tens. 6 tens means 60. I will write 0 in the ones place, 6 in the tens place. You see, there is always a 0 when you get to this step. Then 2 times 5 equals 10. 10 tens, and I will write 1 in the thousands place and 0 in the hundreds place. Now I will add the partial products. 4 plus 0 equals 4. 2 plus 6 equals 8. 4 plus 0 equals 4 and 1. So the answer is 1484. The second step is to find the difference. I will use the bar model to help me write a number sentence and find the difference. Since in February there were more apples sold, I will write it here in the top bar. And I will write the number of apples sold in March here in the second bar. And here's the difference. Let's subtract to find the difference. 1484 minus 1302 equals 182. So 182 more apples were sold in February than in March. We're done for today. Stay safe. Bye.